Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Professional Services Committee meeting of ALCOSAN. Today is April 21st, 2022. And Myra, could we please begin with a roll call?
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Gilliam,
Present.
Corey O'Connor,
Here.
Jack Shea, Sylvia Reed, or Sylvia Wilson, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, who's Sylvia Reed? She's not here. But
Oh,
okay.
goodness.
Sorry, Myra. Sylvia Wilson is here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I see no information items for today, so we're going to move right into action items. Item A is a motion to recommend award of professional services to conduct construction management services on contract 1756, which is the shallow cut interceptor inspection, to DLZ, and to authorize the executive director to negotiate a fee for this project.
Madam Chair,
Williams, yes.
this is a service that smiling Mike Lichten, Director of Regional Conveyance, will explain for you. Go right ahead, Mike. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Arletta. Yeah, this is construction management services for a project which involves about 9 miles of CCTV and inspection using sonar, mostly in our lower Chartiers Creek interceptor, shallow cut interceptor, and in the upper Allegheny shallow cut interceptor. This work was, routinely we work with interceptor systems to program and let this work. 3 firms responded to our RFP. There were 4 reviewers, including myself, Tim Prevost, Julia Spiker, and Sean McWilliams. DLZ was the highest ranked firm. They are an MBE. They are also using Tri-State Design as an MBE, as well as Trophy Point, which is a service disabled veteran. So this is an award with an anticipation that we would negotiate a fee.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate all that extra information that you provided. Gives us a bigger picture of what we had to deal with. And I also appreciate that you talked about how you had several reviewers and how this worked out, because sometimes people often question that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we talk about, sometimes we don't. So I appreciate it this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are any questions from either Corey or Ms. Gilliam, Dr. Gilliam?
Chairperson Reed, I would like to make a motion to approve.
Myra, he's not going to let it go. So that means that Dr. Gilliam as a second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item B, which is a motion to recommend the approval of a service authorization to Answer Advisory under the agreement for engineering consultant services to perform the scope of services for the construction management on contract 1744, which is for Chartiers Creek, Ohio Junction access shaft improvements. This is a capital project S483, and this will not exceed the amount of $171,356.34. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, very well read. Once again, smiling Mike is going to explain what took place after the board awarded this service to Answer, and this is the result of the negotiations and a bit about what the work covers. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, we originally awarded to Answer back in January with the authorization to negotiate a fee. We've been back and forth a couple times with pricing. They came in a little higher than we had expected. So we did work on negotiating them down to a reasonable dollar amount. The 07 access shaft improvements, that includes that's over in McKees Rocks, just across the river here. And it's an access shaft that drops flow into our tunnel. in our existing deep tunnel and sends that flow to the plant here for treatment. Well, there's a lot of things that need to be done to that shaft. There's all the interior is essentially spalling away, and we need to recoat the interior of the structure. The roof needs replaced. So we're going to replace the roof. There's HVAC equipment that's outdated that needs to be replaced. And there's also some electrical fixtures that need to meet the explosion-proof requirements associated with that structure. So we are recommending award to Answer at that price. And just as an FYI, they are using HRV and Foresight, which are disabled DBEs, I'm sorry, and they're also using COSPOs as an MBE on this project. So,
Okay, thanks. Just out of curiosity, how long has that structure been in existence?
ever since the original ALCOSAN system was constructed back in the 1950s.
Okay, that's kind of what I was guessing, which means it's quite obvious that things would become deteriorating and would need to be improved. Or by this time, it means that it went very well, did its job.
Mhm.
And also, it's always funny to me to see when you guys come in with these amounts and it has cents like 34 cents. Instead of rounded it to the nearest dollar or something. I always find that to be very interesting. Okay, could I have a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item C. This motion is to recommend modification of service authorization 349 for MS Consultants to extend their work for a no-cost extension of services providing services during construction for contract 1726 CIPP rehabilitation of portions of the Monongahela subaqueous interceptor through December 31st, 2022. That it was right, subaqueous, correct?
It's you.
Okay. Okay, is this a mic? Because Mike is showing up on my screen. This is another mic explanation.
Well, yes,
No? Yes or no?
it is. And
Okay,
we're going to let Mike go ahead and explain this. And then we're going to let Kim explain some stuff.
okay,
too.
okay.
But
Okay.
after Mike does this and Corey
Okay.
motions and Dr. G seconds, and then
Okay.
that's how we're going to do this. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, thank you, Arletta. Yeah, this is just a design services extension. MS did the design on the subaqueous interceptor system. We currently have a $9.5 million contract to line the interceptor system out near Sandcastle, near the waterfront. And this is just an extension of their design services during construction to support things like liner thickness reviews and bypass pumping reviews and things like this. So this is just really a no cost time extension.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. We move on to item D.
C. We're going to move on
Well-
to item C.
I must have missed that. I'm so
No
sorry.
problem.
I jumped to D and I skipped C. I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, this time it's a motion to recommend the service authorization to Hatch under the agreement for retained engineer for miscellaneous structural engineering support services in an amount not to exceed $37,020 with no added cents. Sorry, Kim.
Yes, that would be accurate, Madam Chair. It's a very even number. And as the miscellaneous would indicate, there are multiple services that are going to be addressed. Kim, if you would speak to that, please.
Yeah, sure. So Hatch is our retained engineers. We do reach out to them occasionally for services that are beyond the scope of our in-house engineering staff. So there are 3 tasks under this miscellaneous support services. The one is designing platforms to make it up to the motors around the raw sewage pumps. Now it's done with ladders and a little bit tricky to have multiple people working up there at the same time. So Hatch will do the design and then we'll install them. And then the second one is there's a lot of construction going on down here at the treatment plant, and we need them to do a load analysis of one of our existing pipe tunnels, personnel tunnels, to make sure that we're not overloading it at the surface with all this equipment. And then last, but certainly not least, we'd like them to look at the roof of the dewatering building. We're going to be doing some work over there in one of our upcoming procurements for upgrades to the dewatering and thickening processes. Would like to have a sense of that roof. It's approximately 20 years old. And if we do put in some improvements in the design, this will just help us scope that out appropriately. So those three tasks are part of this $37,020.
Okay, not bad. 3 things for the price of 1 almost there. Okay, all right. May I have a motion in a second? Is that Corey and then Dr. Gilliam?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, this time we'll skip down to E since apparently I messed up earlier. Item E is a motion to recommend modification of service authorization 368 for Rising to perform additional services to support the Human Resources Information System, which is now going to be called HRIS, in an amount not to exceed $33,525. All right, Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, we are a group who loves our acronyms. HRIS, yes, that's exactly what it is. The committee and the entire board will recall early last year, we talked with you about the need to not just upgrade, but to really install and implement a human resources information system that was fully comprehensive. That up to that point, we had been piecemealing information, Excel spreadsheets, some Word documents, some Access database information. It was pretty much cobbled together. This system that we procured, Rising, to provide for us, this system is, again, moving forward. But in that process, we recognized that we had not made any allocation for addressing retiree and retirement information. I'm coming back to you today to ask you to modify the Rising contract to be able to incorporate that piece. We're pleased with Rising service up to this point.
Okay, that's good. That is a key piece that should not have been missed. You're absolutely correct. All right, any discussion?
Motion to
Aye.
approve.
Okay,
Second.
all righty, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. All right, do we have any new business at all? My guess is probably no, but I'll ask you anyway.
That would be correct. We do not.
Okay, all right then, folks. Went well, a lot of good things continuing happening at ALCOSAN. So we just continue to watch. So our next meeting, we will adjourn, and our next meeting will be May 10th. And of course, at the normal time of 2 o'clock. All right. See you
Thank
all
you.
then. Thank you.